Brian Williams, apparently, on Wednesday, admitted that he was not aboard a helicopter that was hit and forced down by RPG fire during the invasion of Iraq in 2003. I also want to admit I was also not in a helicopter that was subject to that. Of course, the difference between me and Brian Williams is that I never claimed that I was. And apparently he's been telling this story since 2003. And he repeated the claim on Friday during NBC's coverage of a public tribute at a New York Rangers hockey game for a retired soldier who apparently had provided some type of security for grounded helicopters. And the video of him doing this was put on Facebook, on his Facebook page. And apparently he's reiterated this story multiple times. So he put it on his Facebook page. And one of the soldiers who was actually in one of those helicopters said, you know, dude, I've heard you tell this story multiple times, and I basically let it go, but I can't let you get away with repeating the story. I was on that helicopter. You were not there. You showed up an hour later on a different helicopter and asked us about it. And so Brian Williams, I guess, saw that the soldier had posted that, and he came out and admitted that he had not actually, that he had never been on that helicopter. All right, let's play. This is sound, I guess, of Brian Williams on David Letterman in 2013 telling this story.
Right. We were in some helicopters. What we didn't know was we were north of the invasion. We were the northernmost Americans in Iraq. We were going to drop some bridge portions across the Euphrates so the 3rd Infantry could cross on them. 2 of our 4 helicopters were hit by ground fire, including the one I was in.
No kidding.
RPG and AK-47.
What altitude were you hit at?
We were only at 100 feet doing 100 forward knots because we had these massive pieces of bridge beneath us on slings.
What happens the minute everybody realizes you've been hit?
We figure out how to land safely, and we did. We landed very quickly and hard, and we put down, and we were stuck. 4 birds in the middle of the desert, and we were north out ahead of the other Americans.
Oh, my.
And
so, Len, as a guy, as a journalist, what do you think? This is a great position to be in, or holy crap, I got to get out of here?
More toward the holy crap. Yeah. The This Is Great was flying over Iraq. Holy crap started when I realized the now deceased former 4-star general we were traveling with, Wayne Downing, said to me, using an old Vietnam era term because he was a Vietnam infantryman, we're over Indian country. You'll forgive the political incorrectness. He said, this is unpoliced, virgin territory. We're not near any U.S. troops. So we got hit, we sat down, everyone was okay. Our captain took a Purple Heart injury to his ear in the cockpit, but we were alone. They started distributing weapons. We heard a noise, and it was Bradley fighting vehicles and Abrams tanks coming. They happened to spot us. This was the invasion.
Oh, my God.
The U.S. invasion. They saw us. They surrounded us for 3 days during the sandstorm that was so big it suspended the war effort. It was called Orange Crush, and they got us out of there alive. And
you were on the ground in combat for 3 days.
Unbeknownst to anyone back here, NBC sent my wife and children to the breakers in Florida to keep their minds off of it and keep them occupied because no one knew where we were. We couldn't be in touch. Tom Brokaw was the anchor. The war coverage was going on. Our late friend David Bloom was traveling in a tank across the countryside. This was prior to his death.
I don't need to hear any more of the story. I mean, to me, the most annoying part of the story is when he's like, we were driving and we were 4 birds alone in the... What? It's not talking like you were like... I don't know. I mean, I imagine it's even though he didn't take fire, I imagine being over there is scary in that situation. But there it is. I don't know if he was conscious of the lie that he was making, or if he just sort of, wanted his, had deluded himself. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, I don't really have much of an opinion on it because I don't rely on Brian Williams to tell me the news. I mean, or, the idea of like the personal integrity of the news anchor. Look, I'll tell you what's even more screwed up, that they were all embedded and that he's identifying with our forces. That's what's really problematic, as opposed to reporting on them. That's far more disturbing to me than whether or not his helicopter took fire. But I guess people, I don't know, people get excited at the fact that he's such a rugged individualist or something. I have no idea. We were 4 birds just sitting in the desert. Really, dude? When, like, what?
Dropping bridge over the Euphrates.
I remember when I went to Michigan. We flew into Detroit for the holidays to see my in-laws, and we just dropped that bird right on the runway. And then we all collected our luggage, and we walked off the plane.
The pilot said the local temperature here is about 25 degrees.
Thank you so much for flying with us.